Everyone wants to get the best grades, but does it really mean that you always have to study hard? Remember, you are never competing against anyone else but yourself. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. The group can provide you with the social and emotional support you need to be successful. If you stick with it, you will find that every passing moment during your preparation, you are making good progress. You need to be proactive and get your head in the game. Do not let yourself get too far down the rabbit hole. Welcome on board. You are at the Life Cues Junction. Congratulations, you are at the right channel on a wonderful journey called life. Are you ready for a new ride today? Remember, the train leaves on time. So please go ahead, subscribe, and press the bell icon to help us be on time. Done that? Thank you. Let's go. Exams are always a stressful time for students at every level. Studying for a test is not always easy. If you find yourself with a mountain of homework and an upcoming test, you might be feeling a little overwhelmed, and it gets even harder when your time is limited. However, you would be surprised to know that studying in a hurry can also be a way to achieve more than studying in a less intense environment. In this video, we are going to give you 10 simple and easy to implement tips specially designed and proven to help you score more and feel more confident. Everyone wants to get the best grades, but does it really mean that you always have to study hard? Well, follow the advice in this video and study smarter. If you find yourself cramming for the test and not getting much done, try these strategies and see yourself ace any exam with top honors. Before we go any further, I must tell you one extremely important thing to always keep in your mind. Remember, you are never competing against anyone else but yourself. So the more you focus on your planning, your strategies, and your preparations, rest assured that getting great scores in all your exams will be virtually a given. Tip number 1. Find the time you need. We all know that time is not always our ally. It is easy to find excuses to not study when we are busy. This can be especially true if you're feeling particularly stressed or anxious. You know you are not going to be able to study for a test in a hurry. That is why it is important that you find the time you need to study for one. One way to find the time is to set a specific time slot for your study session. This way, you won't fall off the wagon. It may be hard to find the time, but once you do, make sure that you are studying effectively. Be realistic about how much time you will need. If you are short on time and you need to cram for a test, you will need to do it in a more intense setting. Additionally, if you are in a situation that would make it difficult for you to study, try to find a place where you can concentrate better. Find a place where you can study, such as a library or a lunchroom or a desk. Tip number 2. Study before bed. It is important to keep in mind that there are two types of studying, cramming and chunking. Chunking allows you to cover a lot of things by breaking them down into smaller, manageable pieces. However, cramming prevents you from being able to process what you are learning. If you are cramming, then you are not able to process what you are learning and you will not be able to retain it. It is important to study before bed because you have the time to process and retain the information you are learning. If you are able to study before bed, you will be able to sleep peacefully after studying as well. And your subconscious mind works its magic while you are asleep. Number 3. See what works for you. Everybody is different. The key to finding your best study methods is to know what works for you. Some people need to study with some sound or music, while others need silence. Some people are best at studying in the morning, while others do better in the evening or nights. Some people need to make a schedule, while others need to just make time. Find what works for you and then use it to create a routine. For example, if you need to study for a quiz on Sunday or next week, set aside some time on a Saturday. Number 4. Make time for breaks. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. You must have heard this before. Understanding this simple thing can be a game changer for you. When you feel that you're losing your focus or getting too distracted, it is important to take a break. However, it is not easy to do when you need to cram for a big test, but it can be done, believe me. Sometimes you are just not able to study for a test. After a long day of work or school, you might have a hard time focusing on your schoolwork. But even if you do manage to squeeze in a study session, you might find that you're not retaining anything because you're extremely tired. In order to maximize the time you spend studying, do make time for breaks. Allowing yourself time for breaks can help you stay focused and maintain the momentum you are working so hard to achieve. If you are short on time, you can take just a 15 minutes break every 2 hours to refresh your mind. Next tip is study with a friend. A study session with a friend can provide the extra support you need to feel successful. Studies have shown that for every hour you study with a friend, you can learn as much or more than you could study by yourself. It is a good idea to study with someone who can keep you motivated. Studies have also shown that students who study with a friend score higher in tests than those who do that alone. This is true for both high school and college students. You can also learn from each other's study methods. Plus, a session with a friend is a great way to reduce stress and anxiety. Tip number 6. Try out a different approach. Sometimes it is important to step out of your comfort zone and try out a different approach. That is what this particular strategy is all about. For example, you can get up an hour earlier than normal so you can spend that time studying. If you don't get a friend to study with, as advised in the previous clip, consider attending a study group. The study group can provide you with the social and emotional support you need to be successful. Another strategy is to keep track of your progress. For example, you can keep track of the number of problems you have read or the number of practice problems you have already done. This will help you to stay motivated during the process. Tip number 7. Do not get discouraged. One key thing while preparing for any exam is to not get discouraged at all. If you're not able to complete the task today, do not beat yourself. Keep your chin up and try again tomorrow. Always remember that like anything else, it takes discipline and hard work to get ahead in your studies. If you stick with it, you will find that every passing moment during your preparation, you are making good progress. Also, like I said in tip number 5 earlier, a good way to stay motivated is to get a study buddy. If you have a study partner, you can share the load and learn from each other's mistakes. It is also easier to keep up with the partner's pace. Number 8. Be strategic. When you are studying for a test, it is easy to get overwhelmed and lose focus because there are so many things to do. But planning ahead and a little strategic thinking can go a long way in getting your work done in a timely fashion. There are many ways to do this. For example, you can take a little time and break down the material in such a way that the information sticks in your head. You can create flashcards, use mnemonics, and think about the information in a more visual way. When you are creating flashcards, make sure to focus on the things you need to know and not the things you do not. Tip number 9. Be proactive. It is easy to procrastinate and put off studying for a test when you feel overwhelmed, and it can lead to a tendency of piling on more work. But it is important to realize that you can't do much about the past, so you might as well focus on the future. Instead of focusing on what you can't change, focus on what you can. You need to be proactive and get your head in the game. Being proactive can help you make the most of your limited time. For example, as much as possible, you must try to study in a place that is quiet and not distracting. Waking up early, getting to class early, spending more time in the library than in the canteen are some of the things that demonstrates your proactive attitude, and these are some of the ways you can get the most out of your time that you have. This way, you will also be more successful. Finally, tip number 10. Have a plan B. You are working incredibly hard to study for your test. You go into your test with a plan, but then you get stuck. You have been studying for hours with no luck. Why does this keep happening? If you want to avoid the frustration of studying for hours and not getting any closer to your goal, you need to have a plan B. A plan B is a backup plan. If your original plan doesn't work out, you can look to your plan B. Make sure that you have a plan B in mind before you get started on your study session. Your plan B could be as simple as studying a different subject when you feel stuck and not making any progress with a particular subject at that time. Do not let yourself get too far down the rabbit hole. Well, my friend, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed making it for you. I understand that studying and preparing well for any exam may not always be a cakewalk. There are so many things that can consume your time in your school or your college, but none of them are more important than your studies. Benjamin Franklin once said, "By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail." I'm sure if you use some of the tips we shared with you and stay focused with your preparations, then you will certainly be able to get more done, feel more confident in the process, and sail through any exam in life with flying colors. Let me know in your comments which one of these tips you liked the most, and do not forget to share this video with your friends who may need it. I wish you all the success. Well, that's all for our ride today. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave us a like and subscribe if not already done so. Thank you for being such a wonderful guest. Take a ride with our next video or see you on our next trip. Till then, take good care of yourself and stay special. Bye-bye.